Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. As it happened, I'm living in Santiago, Chile right now, and I wanted to give you some of the insights what is really happening here. I don't want to give you any politics, I don't want to say who's right or who's wrong. I just want to give you a point of view from a regular citizen who happened to be in Santiago in these days. So today is Monday, 21st of October, and everything started on Friday. As you might have heard, the tariffs for the metro were risen by the government. For example, to go to the metro, one ride here costs more than twice as much as the same ride in the metro in St. Petersburg. And the tariff for the metro in Chile is higher than in all the countries of the South America and even higher than in New York. So you can imagine that people were not really happy with all these prices, and now the government decided to raise them again for the second time in the year, which means that the prices today are twice higher as they were 10 years ago. Not really good, agree? Plus to that, the electricity bills, the gas bills, they are all very, very, very expensive. Like the electricity here is also higher than in all the other South American countries. This should not be right. So these metro prices, they were like the last drop on people's mind, on people's patience. And on Friday at about 3 or 3:30 p.m., people started to go outside. As I have understood, here in Santiago, people, when they want to say that they are not agreeing with something that the government does, they go outside and they have pots and spoons. And they just basically making the sounds on the street. They shouting something. And this is how it all started on Friday. So Friday here is a short working day. So at about 4 or 5 people are already free. And as you can imagine, first the teenagers and the students, they started this manifestation. They went outside. But between these students, you could see the grown-ups, you can see the elderly, you can see people with children. So everyone was unhappy. Everyone who had something to say, they went out on the streets on Friday evening and they started their protest. The police responded to this manifestation with gas. We are living in the city center, and my fiance and I, we were out to buy some stuff for the weekends when it all started. And I remember us coming back home, and people, well, because I'm pregnant now and really pregnant, people on the streets, they were stopping us and saying like, oh, don't go there, there is a gas, you should go some other place. So we had to like find the best route to get back home without gas and without the crowd and everything. Because, well, can you imagine breathing this gas while you are pregnant, what effect it will cause on your baby? Not the best one. Then Friday, after the police started the counter-attack, you must say, the police started to defend, the people started to build barricades, and the police started to shoot people with gummy bullets. Not the real ones, of course, not yet. The metro was closed because all the angry people, they came into the metro stations. They tried to destroy them. They went without paying, and you might have seen a lot of those videos in YouTube when people in Metro of Santiago are just jumping, they're like cheering, and they're going without payment, and they're trying to fight the police and everything. So it really did happen. There are a lot of metro stations burning, so the metro was closed. At about 5 p.m., the metro was already closed. And people still need to come back home from work because it's Friday. So the only thing that is left were buses. And if you were outside at this time, you could see hundreds of people just waiting on the bus stations for the buses to come because metros are not working. After some people managed to come home, of course they were not happy. They came out on the streets again. They came out to show what they think to the government about all these prices and all the tariffs they need to pay right now. The people tried to go into the metro stations. They burned them. They broke into them. And there were a lot of fires. There was a fire in the city center near the office building. It was like a construction ladder next to it, and all of this construction ladder was set on fire. We don't know yet who did it, so maybe it is kind of connected to the insurance policy that is happening right now in the city center, and it's not connected to the protests and manifestations at all. But these are just some guesses. Nobody knows what it's like. So on Friday, if you're pregnant, if you have kids, you sit at home. If you are young and active and or not young and just active and you want to show your point of view, you were on the streets. On the streets, banging in the pot, making fires, arguing with the police, and yeah, it was very, very hot here on Friday evening. So this continued until about 1 a.m. because I remember we were in bed trying to sleep and it was too noisy. Even like with all the windows closed, everything closed, you could just hear the people shouting and yelling and the police sirens and everything. But then started something that I guess always starts in this kind of manifestation, because there are always people who want to get something for free. So this kind of people started to break in into the supermarkets, into the big hypermarkets or the shopping centers with some electronics and food. They started to steal stuff. This stealing process, it ruins the purpose of the manifestation. But there are always people who want to get something for free, always people who want to break something. So I guess there is nothing you can do with it. So the same on Friday, people were breaking into the shops, into the shopping center, into the supermarkets to get some stuff from there. So this is Friday. Friday ends, Saturday begins. On Saturday, I think we were almost all day at home because the protests began again. People were on the streets. They were not happy. They started to break into the supermarkets again, burning the metro stations, burning the cars, burning the buses. However, there are like some evidences that it was the police who burned most of the buses, but we'll never know. And on Saturday, the president finally started to speak. So he came into the city center and he said that okay, we will not higher the tariffs for the metro. And that's it. People were not happy because they want not only the tariffs not to be higher, they want them to be lower than they are right now, and not only for the metro, but for the electricity and the basic needs they have. So at first it was a little bit quieter after the president had said a word, but in the evening everything began again. Manifestations, burning, the police was already tired, I guess, from all this stuff, and we got some militaries coming into town. So, like, basically for me, it was just a lot of noise. I was worried about our safety because we are in the city center, and I saw people on the street, and then the police put gas into them, so all of them came into our yard inside the house, and there was like a lot of smoke and gas, and I've never seen something like that in my life. I didn't know how to react to this, and according to the local people, this is not usual. So usually the manifestations, yeah, of course they happen, but this is already something bigger. This is people's protest. This is not just a manifestation. All the shops, they were closed. So if you really wanted to go eat somewhere, there were just a couple of restaurants in downtown open and nothing more. So this is Saturday. On Saturday evening from 10 p.m., nobody was allowed to go on the streets. There were militaries, there were policemen, carabineros, that were patrolling the streets, and if you were out there after 10 p.m. they could stop you, go bring you to jail for questioning and everything. So it was a little bit quieter after 10. The scary thing that started to happen on Saturday is that people started to die, and it continued till Sunday. So there were some policemen who got injured. There were some policemen who died because they got caught like in a crowd or something. And there were people who died in fires in the supermarkets where they were trying to steal something. It started to look very ugly, and the cars hitting people, you know, not the best season right now to go outside on the streets. And it was Saturday. No huge fires in downtown. It was quiet all night here, so it was better than Friday, and we started to think that maybe it will stop, especially because on Sunday morning people went outside to get some food, to get some provision, just to walk, to see what's happening. And again, it's Sunday, so all the supermarkets were closed, all the mini markets were closed. You can eat in a restaurant, or as we did, we went to the market to buy some vegetables and fruits to have at least something at home. So Sunday morning was quite nice and calm. People were shouting on the streets only when they saw the military cars passing by, or when they saw the policemen patrolling the streets. So it was kind of calm. However, the government decided that on Sunday people cannot go out after 7 p.m. And this is kind of a big violation of your rights. I mean, of course, the government wants to make it quiet and calm and stop these manifestations that are happening, but I guess it only made people angrier than they already were. So for example, here inside my building, we had people going in the yard, people from the windows making a lot of sounds with their pots as a protest after 7. So they started at 7 and they started to make this protest. On Saturday, the protest began like at 9. So everybody in the city, they knew that there is a new manifestation coming at 9 p.m. You want to join, you go outside in the streets. And also on Saturday and on Sunday, the similar events started to happen in all over the country. So on Friday it was only in Santiago. Saturday, Sunday it is happening in the other cities. So now the whole country has this manifestation, and people are waiting for the government to do something. The similar manifestations, but quieter, happened also in Australia, for example, where there are a lot of Chilean peoples. So they just went on the street to support the Chileans that are in the mother country. And on Sunday, the buses started going. So on Saturday, it was quite no transportation at all whatsoever. You can just go by bus, like you cannot go by Uber because it wasn't working. Now on Sunday, it is working. Uber, for example, was working only until 6. But the public transportation, the buses, they started to go on Sunday. And they were for free. On Sunday evening, as I have already said, after 7 p.m., it started all over again. People went on the streets, they made fire, they put some fire in the metro stations and everything. However, there is one more thing that started to happen on Sunday evening. The local people, they came outside to protect their houses. Because, as you know, in manifestation, in this kind of violent crowd, there are always people who want to steal something, who want to ruin something, who want to burn something without even having any political idea or whatsoever in their mind. So already yesterday there were some people in the night protecting their houses, so they went outside on the street. So this leaves us today on Monday. I'm filming now, it's like 1 p.m. So I don't know what will happen in the evening, but what is happening so far. Yesterday, the president of Chile had said that we are in a war. Well, I don't know from which perspective he sees it, but from the feeling that the citizens have, we are not in a war. We just have a manifestation because people are not happy. So people are waiting for the government to do something to deal with these problems. It's not a war, it's a protest, which is very different. And today, some of the supermarkets are already open, and all the people are there because, well, we had no food for the weekends, so everybody's just running around trying to buy some stuff to feed their families. And I know that I'm talking about food a lot, but damn, I'm pregnant, I'm always hungry, and I need my food. But for example, in our neighborhood, there is only one supermarket open, and it's too crowded to go in there. Even for my fiance, not even mentioning for me, because like I have to protect my baby inside me and I still need to buy some stuff, and it's too crowded to do both of them. So yeah, so some of the shops are open, some of the supermarkets are open. There are a lot of supermarkets that were robbed, a lot that had fires inside them, so who knows when these ones will be opened again. But the buses are going, people are still on the streets, not so many. I didn't see any gas today, and I didn't see the huge crowds. But again, let's see what will happen further during the day, because the first part of the day is usually calmer than the second one. So yeah, let's see. I just wanted to give you some perspective, some information from the citizen of Santiago, not from the political point of view, not from the governmental point of view. So for us, it's like this. There are still protests, there are still manifestations, people are fighting with the policemen fighting with people, and everybody's waiting for some kind of ending of these protests and manifestation. But like, the sun is still shining, the children are still playing on the streets and in the yard, so it's definitely not a war, how our president had said it. Most of the offices are, however, closed today due to lack of metro and public transportation, because all the metro is still closed and people just couldn't go to work. So for me, it's good. I have my fiance one more day with me, so I'm happy, you know. No, but seriously, so most of the offices do not work. People cannot come to their work, but I guess this protest is coming to the end now, because as I have already told, people are starting to protect their own houses. It's less about the political questions now, it's more about their own safety and the safety of their property. So I guess we are coming to an end of this manifestation. Thank you all for being here with me today. And if you still have some questions about Santiago, what's happening here right now, You can always write me in the comments. You can go in my Instagram. So please, feel free. I will answer all of your questions. And I'll see you guys next time.